Accessing library computer data.
Hello and welcome to my review/overview of the R.I.S. Apnex from the Wave Zero expansions in August of 2013. This ship appears in Star Trek The Next Generation episode, The Next Phase, when the Enterprise D comes to assist a damaged Romulan science vessel, which was testing a new cloaking device, and Mirok tried to destroy the Enterprise by creating a muon feedback pulse. The ship does a pretty good job of translating the ship from canon into the game. So let's take a look at what comes in the pack. You get a Romulan science vessel, which is a lighter green than the Valdor class, with some dark green paint job highlights, and again some lighter green highlights as well. You get the maneuver dial for the Romulan science vessel, 2 Mirok ID tokens, 2 Romulan captain ID tokens, an R.I.S. Apnex / Romulan science vessel template, an auxiliary power token, a cloak token, a critical token, an evade token, 2 shield tokens, a muon feedback token, and the mission testing new cloaking technologies. So let's get to the cards. The first card in the pack is the named ship, the R.I.S. Apnex, which is a Romulan science vessel with 1 attack, 2 agility, 2 hull, and 2 shields, and a 9-degree primary firing arc. Action bar of evade, cloak, and sensor echo with a tech and 2 crew slots for 14 points. Action. Once per game, every ship at range 1 sustains 1 damage, including this ship. During the planning phase, this ship must choose a 1 maneuver, forward, bank, or turn for the rest of the game. This is an interesting ability that is very thematic to the episode where it suffered damage when it was experimenting with the new cloaking device, and it had to crawl back to Romulan space, so it kind of mimics that. I do not think this is a very competitive ship, as it only has 2 hull to begin with, so you're voluntarily taking damage to your own ship and having your own hull by using this ability. And with Mirok Science Vessel coming in at 10 points from the Romulan faction pack, it's just a much better ship. Run a generic Romulan Science Vessel. The extra shield, because you're going to want to keep it cloaked anyway, the extra shield is not going to do a heck of a lot of good. The generic Romulan Science Vessel loses shield, the ability, and a crew slot for an original cost of 12 points, but that was slashed in half, and now it only costs 6 points for the lowest point cost for a ship in the game, which is absolutely ridiculous. I've used the generic Romulan Science Vessel on occasion as a very cheap support ship with someone like Dinatra to follow my other ships and provide some passive extra die. Also very useful for the 1 OP in Klingon Civil War to have just a fleet of these sensor echoing for points all day long. Your turns take forever, but I mean, you can probably win. While these certainly will not last very long in a firefight, these make for some really cheap support ships when you do not have a lot of points to spare. The Romulan Science Vessel is very maneuverable with no red maneuvers, white turns at 1 and 2, and a 2 white comeback and a white 4 straight. So again, you're probably not going to win very many racing competitions with this ship, but it is a very maneuverable ship. The only named captain in this pack is Mirok, who is a unique skill 4 captain that costs 2 points. After you move, if at least one friendly ship is within range 1 of your ship, repair 1 damage to your hull or shields. Mirok can make for a decent captain on a larger ship, though you can actually get that extra durability when you combine it with Dinatra to not only repair some damage on your ship, but then you also get that +1 attack die. And on most Romulan ships, you need that additional die. So I kind of like actually Mirok as a mid-level captain, and he only costs 2 points. And of course, we have the generic Romulan captain. The first of the 2 tech upgrades in the pack is Muon Feedback Wave, which costs 4 points. Action. Discard this card to place a Muon token beside a ship at range 1. This upgrade may only be purchased for a Romulan science vessel. So what exactly does a Muon token do? When a ship has a Muon token, 1. A Muon token stays with a ship until it is removed. 2. During the activation phase, after the ship moves, the ship takes damage to its hull equal to the number of its current maneuver minus 1. The type of maneuver does not matter, just the number. After the ship performs a green or white maneuver, it can spend an action to remove a Muon token. This can be a very sneaky card to deal some serious damage to your opponent's hull without needing to fire at them. So if a ship with a Muon token performs a 5 straight, then they would suffer 4 damage to the hull, potentially killing some ships or at least crippling a lot of them. I've used this with someone like Viceroy, so they can see your opponent's maneuver to determine if it's worth using on an opponent's ship, as you'd want to see at least 2 hull damage done for the point cost, and the fact that it is a discard. Not a card that I've used a ton or seen it a lot, but I have used it once or twice in competitive games, and I've been able to do some damage with it. Haven't been able to kill a ship with it, but I was able to deal, I think, 2 damage one time and 3 the others. So the second tech upgrade is Interphase Generator, which has been errated to be limited to 1 per ship and costs 3 points. When defending, after all dice have been rolled, if this ship is cloaked, discard this card. Cancel the attack. This ship suffers 1 hit. This is a must-have on Romulan ships if you want to have them cloaked, as it essentially cancels the attack, and then your ship only suffers 1 hit regardless of what your opponent may have rolled. This is a standard card on most of my Romulan ships, assuming they have a tech slot or 1 added, and even at 4 points cross-faction onto a Klingon ship or another cloaked ship, it's still probably worth it just so your ship does not get killed in 1 hit while cloaked. A great card, and probably a reason to buy this ship just for this card. For the crew, the first one is Verel, who's unique and costs 5 points. Discard this card to cancel a single attack against your ship before any dice rolled. The cancelled attack cannot be directed against a different ship. This upgrade costs plus 5 squadron points for any ship that is not a Romulan science vessel. An attack cancelling crew that is better than something like conditional surrender, which requires you to discard all of your crew, but it is also 2 points cheaper. So I don't think I've ever seen Verel played, but I think you're better off for the points just using interphase generator, even though it still allows a hit through because it is not limited to the Romulan science vessel. It's cheaper and does not cost 10 points to put it on another class of ship. So I mean, she's okay on a Romulan science vessel as they do not have much of ways of durability, especially when they're cloaked. Certainly not worth it on anything else. And even then, interface generator, just a better card. The last crew and card in the pack is Param, whose unique crew and costs 1 point. Action: if your ship is not cloaked, disable all your remaining shields and target a ship at range 1 and 2 that is not cloaked and have no active shields. Discard Param and 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the target ship. Another one of these 1 point crew discarding another crew, as there seem to be a ton of them in the early part of the game. Again, probably better as fodder for a crew discard rather than actually using its ability, unless the scenario dictates that there's no shields or, something like that. Thank you very much for watching my review/overview of the R.I.S. Apnex. This ship is certainly worth picking up pretty much solely on getting the interface generator tech upgrade, especially if you have been unable to get a Romulan faction pack or just want more. I also do not mind Mirok and the Muon feedback wave in certain situations. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. You can find me on Facebook where I post Star Trek Attack Wing and other Star Trek related content. You can support me in making more videos by donating on Patreon. Thank you again, and I shall see you next time.